Hi, I'm Sherry Daniel. I'm the director of the Heaven Project and the founder of the Miracle School. I'd like to introduce you to the miracle that's making it possible for you to have a life and a world that is heaven. Heaven being the highest level of happiness that's possible for you. The miracle is a gift from the Source, the Creator, the intelligence that creates and sustains all of life. It's a gift to all those who are tired of the suffering and the scarcity and the struggle, and who would like to experience the heaven that life was meant to be. The miracle was created by the Source to enable everyone to have everything that they need, and for every life to be nurtured and fulfilled. Sound impossible? Well, it's actually already been done. Thousands of years ago, I established 14 prototype communities that have achieved the heaven of a miracle-based way of life. They've achieved the heaven of total abundance. They've achieved the ability to manifest from the spiritual level of reality to the physical level of reality everything that they need in terms of the material things of their life. So they don't have to work and in onerous jobs. They don't have to farm or manufacture. They just use the science of manifestation that the Source has taught them, and they manifest their food and their clothing and their housing and everything that they need at a material level directly from the spiritual level to the physical level. They've also mastered the art of perfect health. They started out with a society that had ill health like the world that we live in, and they worked with the Source to understand what was the cause of that ill health and to transition into a state of perfect health. For thousands of years, they've never had disease. They don't have accidents because they understood what caused accidents, and now they don't have to endure them anymore, and they don't age. They live their lives in perfect health, and when it's time to leave at the end of their life, they just walk out of their body and they go on to their next adventure. And there's no suffering, so that life in a organic form is a delight for them. They've also transitioned out of war and crime and discrimination and abuse to a love-based community that does really nurture every life in the community. And that's because they understand that every life is precious, that every being comes into the world as a new miracle, and they can manifest an aspect of heaven that only they were created to manifest. And so they give to each new being that's born into their community full support to do whatever is theirs to do in their life so that they will manifest the heaven they were created to manifest. They also live very exciting and purposeful and fulfilling lives. They've understood that they have a mission, and that mission is to manifest the heaven that only they can manifest, and to work with others in the community to manifest heaven in the community as a whole. And so that mission is what they do in their days, because they're not having to work at jobs that they may not enjoy, because they don't have a brute force economy like we do. They have time to enjoy life and to fulfill their mission, and that brings them great joy. So how, might you ask, did they ever achieve this? Well, I explained to them that what was causing their suffering, because they started out much as we are in our current time with a war-torn world and scarcity and suffering and disease. They started out like that, but I explained to them that the problem that they were having was that they were disconnected from the help of the Source. And if they reconnected to the help of the Source, then they could have a life that was heaven. And I explained to them that I would need to bring through miracles, and they'd need to learn how to work with those miracles. But if they were willing to do that, then I could take them on a journey of reconnection, and they could have a life that was heaven. And so they agreed, and we set out on a journey together. It took them 29 years to turn their civilizations around and have the heaven of the miracle-based way of life that I've just described. And key to that quick turnaround were the seeds of heaven that I gave them. And the seeds of heaven are something like these sunflower seeds that you see here. These sunflower seeds have biological genetic code in them, and when you plant them in a fertile field, they grow to a full crop of sunflowers. but they need the sun and the rain and the right temperatures, and if they're to be raised as a crop, they need the protection and the nurturing of the farmer. And in a similar way, the seeds of heaven that I gave the prototype communities are seeds that have spiritual genetic code rather than biological genetic code, and they needed to nurture these seeds in a spiritual field of heaven, which is an energy field. And when they nurtured that field and they nurtured the seeds, and they brought in the source energies that were the equivalent of the sun and the rain and the right temperatures, then the seeds received what they needed to germinate. And they, like the farmer in the sunflower example, they were careful to protect the seeds of heaven and to work with them so that when they grew to fruition, out of those seeds grew the heaven of their miracle-based way of life. And I told the prototype communities that one day I would return in another lifetime, and I would bring with me the seeds for a universal made-in-heaven community, a community which could enjoy all of the benefits of their communities, but it would be every being throughout the entire creation enjoying that. And that's what I'm doing today. I have come back in this life with the seeds of heaven for a universal made-in-heaven community. And I've brought with me what I call the miracle, which is the most powerful miracle that's powerful enough to enable beings working together with the source to establish a universal miracle-based community where there is total abundance, where there is perfect health, and there's a love-based community, and every life is nurtured and fulfilled and lives its life performing the mission that brings the greatest joy to each being performing that mission. So in order to help beings to achieve this goal of establishing a universal community, I've established the Heaven Project on the earth, and I've founded the Miracle School, which is the implementation arm of the Heaven Project. And in the Miracle School, which is an online school, you have the opportunity of receiving from me these seeds of heaven and the same training I gave to the prototype community members that enabled them to transition out of their lives of suffering into the heaven of their miracle-based way of life. And right now, the Miracle School is offering you a journey of discovery, which will enable you to experience what it's like to experience the miracles of heaven firsthand for yourself, to learn in greater depth what I told the prototype community members when we were starting out together on our journey of reconnection, what I explained to them. The journey of discovery is a free journey that I am offering to you through the Miracle School so that you can understand what I told them, and you can make a decision about whether you would like to leave aside the suffering of an ordinary life and have the heaven of a miracle-based way of life. So let me explain in greater detail just what's involved in the journey of discovery. In the journey of discovery, I offer you transformational videos, like this video. This video may appear to be an ordinary video, but actually I'm transmitting through this video, through the sound of my voice, and through the energies that emanate through my form, and through the source drawing, which is behind me in the video, the miracles that enable you to awaken to the promise of heaven in your own life. And those are the kinds of transformational videos that you'll be watching in the journey of discovery. You'll also be able to enjoy the miracle broadcasts that are available in the journey of discovery. They're miracle broadcasts that transmit miracles through the code that is transmitted as you're listening to the broadcast. There are also miracle transmission articles that transmit miracles through the written form that enable you to receive the energies that help you to become source-connected, which is the secret to curing the problem of the disconnection, which leads to suffering in your life.